The views and opinions expressed in the Golden Boot podcast are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Golden Boot podcast as a whole.
Y'all ready to get rolling? Quiet on the set. Hey, welcome back. Another hot episode. Golden Buddhist, your boy Poop. I got my man Aunt Petty Murphy in the building. What's good, my boy?
Man, I ain't gonna lie to you. I am tired, my boy. This daylight savings is whooping your boy.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I was like, man, I don't know if I want to do a show. It wasn't even because the game. I'm just tired. It's been a long week, long weekend. You had last week's, events with Halloween and stuff. Then Halloween was Tuesday. Then I thought I was gonna get a break. Dylan decided he's got another activity he want to do. So we had to do that, and then we had high school football Friday. Got up and went to Little League Championships. Left there, went to A&M for FAMU versus A&M. Left there, came home, watched whatever that was last night. And then got up this morning, confused as ever, trying to figure out, why all the clocks say 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
For football. I was like, man, what's going on? So yeah, then I realized,
See, I was on my way to church, and then I started time, and I was like, oh man, I'm an hour late, bro. Then my phone looked at my phone. Oh, I'm good. I just forgot to change the clock on the radio.
Yeah, in the car.
Yeah, but bro,
yeah. What's good, Devin and David?
Like 4 o'clock, 4:30, man. I feel like I was supposed to be in bed 2 hours ago.
Right.
I might make it through the show. I might be over here.
It's gonna be a quick show because
I might be like DK in Spaces by the end of it and be snoring on it.
Be snoring. Yeah, Devin put up the Kenny Griffith Jr. Yeah, Kenny Griff. Saw him Saturday, man, at the FAMU game. His son plays for FAMU, and he's very nice guy. I felt bad because I wasn't thinking that FAMU was on defense when I walked up to him, asked, "Can I take a picture?" And he was kind of looking at me. He had on shades, but you can tell how somebody kind of looking at you, like, "Bruh, come on." Like, my bad. Let me just snap this up real quick. But that was kind of the first time I realized like generational gaps, because I was like, Dylan, Dylan like the Seattle Mariners because he played for, saying his little league team was the Mariners. I said, Dylan, you want to meet the most famous Mariner of all time? He's like, yeah. And he's like, who is he? And I showed him, and all he saw was a guy with a gray goatee and shades. Yeah. I say, and so I was getting ready to take the picture, and I was like, Dylan, you want to get on the picture? He looked at me, and straight face. He said, nah, and walked off. I could do nothing. Like Ken Griffey laughed. He was like, I was like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, sir. But yeah, man, it was but all in all, man, it was a good weekend. Great weekend for football and NFL. This is probably the best weekend NFL football we've had in a long time. So definitely looking forward to it. Let's go ahead and break this down. What's good, Taraj? Josh in the building. Oh,
yeah, man. I'm glad I didn't make that trip.
you know what? Rev asked. He said, "I thought you and Petty was coming this week." I said, "Nah, we gonna skip this weekend." I'm glad we did too.
Yeah, 6 points. Man, I would have been hot.
But here we go, man. Let's go ahead and give a shout out to our sponsors over at BetOnline. BetOnline.ag. We'll be back in 1 minute.
BetOnline.ag is your number one source for all your sports information, stats, news, and scores. Get the latest odds, lines, and player injury reports for this year's NBA and NHL playoffs. BetOnline is always your sports information headquarters. This season, we have you covered for all your sports wagering needs. We have everything from NBA, NFL, MLB, and NHL to golf, tennis, UFC, and boxing. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to get your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games that you can play right from your home. Head on over to betonline.ag today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Be sure to use the promo code BLEAV to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts.
All right, we're back. What's good, Tyler? What up, Marv? Marv says, "Man, no DCBA."
Marv came in. My man came in with the pink slips. He didn't speak. He didn't say what's up.
Marv didn't say what up.
Pink slips.
You know what's? I ain't gonna tell y'all how we usually have to get. What we have to say to get Marv to, you know, what I'm saying, come up and speak. I'm just gonna say it rhymes with duty. I'm gonna leave it at that.
It rhymes with how the defense played yesterday.
Oh yeah, fast. Anyway, man, let's talk about this game. I don't want to, but let's get it out the way. LSU was, you know, sitting at 14. I don't even know we ranked right now. I don't care. I really don't even look into.
Honestly, it's 18th.
Okay.
But the college football playoff don't come out till Tuesday. So.
Yeah, I really don't care. They can have us 38 right now. It wouldn't matter to me. But we took on Alabama. Lost 42-28. I thought that how we started the game was perfect on offense. Even how we started on defense, perfect. The problem came in probably about the second or third drive that Bama had. I think it may have been the second. Yeah, it was the second drive. They moved down the field, basically powered by Jalen Milroe's legs. It was okay. We came back. We went down the field. If I'm not mistaken, we went back down the field and scored again. Or either they stopped us. Either way, it was back and forth. The problem was we were moving the ball in different ways. You know what I'm saying? Little run here, Jaden run there. You know what I'm saying? Throw the ball. Alabama was like, okay, run the ball. Run, Jalen. You know what I'm saying? So no adjustment. Yeah. Initial thoughts.
It was very similar to the Florida State game. Started off the game great, except we actually capitalized and got touchdowns early in the game. Halftime, you know what I mean? It was even. Then the second half was the difference maker. We scored first in the second half, and then they scored 21 on us. And there was no adjustments made by the defense, by the offense after that first drive in the second half. I mean, the offense did everything they needed to do except convert on the fourth down and have a a turnover off of a fluky, you know what I mean? If you want,
Yes.
that was you can't fault Jaden for that. But I didn't like the play call on the fourth down. But we'll need it. That's neither here nor there. But the defense asked this offense to be perfect last night, and that's too much to ask of an offense going into Tuscaloosa playing against a Nick Saban coach team.
Yeah. Um, I've had often, initial. If you had asked me about it initially, how I felt, and I'll say it. Um, I still feel the same way I felt about Bama prior to the game. Um, they're not as good as we've seen. I've seen way better Bama teams. I've seen LSU beat way better Bama teams. The issue is, and I had to think about it, and it really, really kind of solidified, or was I say solidified. It was really, I guess you could say solidified last night. Um, Nick Saban is that dude, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna tell you why. 2011 or 2012 national championship game. Who was our best defender on that team?
Ooh,
You remember that the 2011 team
that's a tough question.
Heisman candidate
Matthew.
Tyrann Mathieu. What did Saban do?
Man, I tried to forget that game from my memory,
I don't
bro.
know if he targeted
Oh
Tyrann
yeah,
Mathieu
he
the
did though.
entire game. Um, but all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Kevin Norwood became this
Yeah.
icon. Who is probably, I ain't gonna say probably, who is the best defender on this team?
Dale Perkins.
Saban attacked Perkins all night.
Yeah.
He put Perkins in situations to make plays, and he bet on Alabama. He bet on his squad, and that's what he did all night.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm gonna read, because what I'm saying, me and you talked earlier today. Just a little, saying through text, and I'm gonna read the people what I kind of said to you. Because I kept saying all last night. I was like, bro, Perkins a liability. Not because of, you know, his skills, but he was basically, they were attacking him. I mean, and it was strategic. But I said this because, we were talking. I said, people keep calling for space, but no one said anything about Perkins. And you said, oh, Perkins was bad, but I don't know if anybody else is used in the same way. And I agree. And before, let me comment, because I know people they may hear this and clip and be like, oh, they're attacking Perkins. That's not what we mean. This is kind of, and this is going to clarify what I mean. Maybe we should just use someone else that can cover and blitz from different positions. We need to stop trying to make Perk Superman. He's so damn talented, and when he doesn't save the day, all we see are the flaws. Perk has and I'm not gonna say it was a bad game. He had a less than stellar game, but Perk he had the only sack, if I'm not mistaken. He made plays on the boundary.
He would have had 2 sacks if it wasn't for that horse collar.
Which wasn't, that's not a horse collar. I mean, because he grabbed, well, I mean, I guess technically it is, because
Technically it was, but if he didn't put his hand on the back and just kept his hand in the front, it would have been good. But
so and I'm glad you said. With that being said, how is that a more of a harsh collar than what happened early in the game when they ran? Saying the guy ran up from behind Jaden, grabbed him from the, saying, and pulled him and slung him around, saying around. But that's neither here nor there. But with that being said, Perk did what he could in the positions he was put in.
that's the thing. No adjustments was made. And if you saw them trying to attack Perk and kind of use his aggressiveness against him some, and there were no adjustments made to how he was used. There was no spies put on Jalen Miro even after he, had over 100 yards rushing in the first half. I mean, it just seemed to me like we tried to overcomplicate things, man,
Yeah,
and we didn't keep it. We didn't keep it simple. I mean, keep it simple, stupid, bro. Like,
yeah. Another thing I want to point out. Everybody all week talked about, oh man, we're gonna be having these young DBs, and oh man, we're gonna get beat over the top, this, that, and other. I don't think they beat us with it. I don't think they threw a
no,
pass
DBs played great.
over 20 plus yards to beat
Well,
us.
I ain't gonna say all of them, but
Yeah.
there was some
Um,
tackle issues from the DBs that could have been
I'm
better.
gonna say it because Dylan was sitting in here, and it's something I have been preaching to 7U or our coaching staff preached to 7U all season. Stop arm tackling, wrap up. I love the person Sage Ryan is. Sage Ryan has played great this season. He missed a lot of tackles. Well, he got to the ball carrier and did not wrap up. I'll put it like that. With that said, I'm not putting this all on Sage Ryan either. It's just we got to do better.
It's on their defense as a whole, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not pointing the finger at no one person on that defense, because you could look at every one of them, any one of that 11, and say they could have played better.
Yeah. To my boy, I don't know if he watched, but to our guy, Wingo, I got a picture up, you know what I'm saying, looking at it. We miss you.
Yeah, it's that Batman meme, bro.
Yeah. we miss Wingo. My Alabama buddy hit me up today. We were talking about it. I sent my good games, to my Alabama people that I actually, talk to on a regular. And I told him, good game and stuff. And he was like, man, if y'all's defense didn't have the injuries and stuff, he said, y'all, it'll be a totally different season for y'all. He's like, and his words to me were, Jaden Daniels is the next Patrick Mahomes. And I was like, appreciate the compliment. The comparison. This is definitely and I know we talking all about the defense. I feel like this is all on the defense. I'm not gonna say all. I feel like most of this was on the defense. But I talked to somebody else, talked to my brother-in-law, and he's talking about the defense. He said something about the DBs, and I was like, the DBs didn't. But then he was like, y'all gotta get Nabel some help at wide receiver. And I was thinking, I was like, I can't put this on the offense. I don't know. But then I thought about it for a second. He's not necessarily all the way wrong about that. I think Lacey stepped up.
Big touchdown.
Brian Thomas had a decent game. Run wise, we got to do a little bit better. Offensive line held serve on passes, but running the ball, there was not much of a push. So, I don't know. Thoughts?
We ran about 13 times, not including Jaden. So our running back ran about 13 times for 43 yards.
You know what's funny about that? We just fussed at somebody last week for that same thing. Colorado sound familiar.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree.
But to the point about getting some help, I can't really say that. I mean, we know what BTJ has done all year at receiver. Wasn't his best game yesterday, but the ball didn't go his way a lot neither. I mean, when you
Mm-hmm.
got neighbors killing the way he killing, I mean, kind of hard to not go to him whenever he's such a mismatch like he was yesterday. So I mean, I can't put this on offense, bro. They were
Yeah,
basically having to be perfect out there, bro. I mean, they had to score almost every drive. I mean, they went less than a minute before half to tie the
bingo.
game up, man. I mean, like you can't.
Now I do agree with Marvin Hill. I tell you another thing on that slant interception, Thomas has to put more effort to knock the ball down. He just watched it.
Yeah, I give you that, but I mean,
He just watched it, but and it's stuff like I get it.
that's nitpicking though, bro.
Yeah, that's nitpicking, but it's
Whenever your defense gave up 80% on third downs, you know what I'm saying, bro? Like not trying to bat a ball down as a receiver versus, you know what I mean? Like we can't really fault that for the game. You know what I mean? Like the defense let Jalen Milrows go 4 touchdowns. Jalen Milrow had how many yards rushing? 150 something.
200. Then he have 200.
He had 100. I mean, he had 155.
Okay.
I mean, you gave up 500 yards of offense, bro, to Alabama. I mean,
Yeah.
anybody trying to say this is the offense's fault, I need to have a word with them.
Yeah. Yeah. There was something else that was on my mind. I'm biased. And when I say this, I am extremely biased when it comes to Jeremiah Hughes, just because saying the relationship we built with him, Miss Nikki, Miss Lorenzo. I don't think there's no reason why we shouldn't have seen Jeremiah out there playing more. Because I guarantee you, as hungry as that young man is to get on that field, he's going to wrap up. He's going to make tackles. Now, what can he do about Milrow running wild? I mean, maybe not much, but I would have loved to see him out there. I'm not for the whole, saying bench space and all this kind of stuff for weeks, but I wouldn't have mind to put Weeks out there for a change of pace just to see what he would do, if that helps. Because whatever we was doing, it wasn't working. Put somebody else out there.
I'm on the play with Weeks more.
Yeah.
I'm on that train for sure.
Yeah.
And I ain't trying to bash nobody, but I need more than one solo tackle out of my linebacker. Especially in a game where you got the quarterback for Alabama running the ball 20 times. Alabama ran the ball 46 times. 2 of those were kneels. So 44 times. And you got one solo tackle. That's a problem to me.
Yeah. This is what's good, Chris. I ain't seen you in a minute. Chris, front seven got dominated and gave up almost 300 yards rushing, and Burton only had 3 catches for 30 yards. That was the What I ain't even looked at the passing yards. What Bama have passing yards?
Bama had 219 passing yards.
Okay, because I knew they had some passing yards. Most of those were backs.
Bond had 60. Then their second highest was the running back who had that one catch.
I knew it because the running backs literally had.
And then the other running back had one for 35 yards.
Yeah.
So 70 something, a third of their yards came to their running back.
Yeah. But yeah, it's this loss pretty much guaranteed Bama going to the SEC championship, facing off against Georgia.
Yep.
I don't know what else to say about it. Kudos to Bama.
Honestly though, after what I saw yesterday, and I know we'll talk about it, but you're probably looking at the SEC champion that you just played yesterday.
Yeah. Kudos to Bama. This is again, I'll say this is probably the worst team we've seen Bama have in a while. And what Saban does every year is they pinpoint their weakness and build off of it and get better throughout the year. So kudos to Bama for that. But now let's talk about it, because Chris just said, saying, no way they beat Georgia. So let's talk about this for a second. Number 12 Missouri took on number 2 Georgia. Georgia ended up getting the win 30-21. That game was not that close. Georgia actually and it was a fluke play. And I completely agree, because Horace says Nick Saban best coaching job since he's been at Alabama. Agree. I'm gonna tell you what this compares to. And I know you remember this, being a basketball fan. Remember when Duke had all those? It was like it was a down year for Duke, and Coach K ended up leading them to a championship. I can't remember what year it was. It was like it was one of his last.
They had Justice Winslow.
There you go. This is what this Bama team reminds me of. So, but anyway, back to this. Us skunking us 21-0, and that is his best game. No, it wasn't. He said them beating us 21-0 in the Natty was.
No, he's not saying that's his best game. He's saying this year is the best job he's done.
Yeah.
Chris misunderstood what he was saying.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, the best. They literally were the second best team. Well, I guess you say, I think they still was the second best team that year. I mean, of course, they got the win, so it's hard to say second best when they won. But anyway, back to this Georgia Missouri game. Missouri did exactly what I thought they could do to Georgia. I feel like they kind of exposed Georgia, but the problem is, who is Georgia going to face that can capitalize on that? They got Ole Miss this week, but who is Georgia going to face that can capitalize on that? Bama? CFP? If it goes that far, CFP? Because even then, who?
Texas.
Fair.
Washington.
I don't know about Washington. I understand Washington has the athletes at wide receiver. I don't know about Washington. And the only reason why I say that, because Washington,
but they got the weapons to do it.
Yeah, they do. Well, and the only reason why I say I don't know if Washington, because the way, and we'll get to it. We'll get to it. We'll talk more about Washington, but I'm not sold on Washington.
I'm not sold on Georgia.
I'm definitely not. You know, I've been off the Georgia train a long time ago. I've been saying this is not gonna be it. So
yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know. Like, if you ask me the reason why, I can't explain it to you.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel Alabama gonna beat Georgia in the SEC championship game.
I understand. Alabama has found a way to. I don't know. They've dominated the last 2 weeks, or their last 2 games with Tennessee and LSU. They found a way to, in the second half, just lean on that run game and take over the game.
Yeah.
So, and I can see them doing that to Georgia. So, you want to talk about that one real quick? Because I know we didn't talk about it.
We can.
Yeah. So Chris Haley, what do y'all think about House's future? I think we need a new DC.
All right, so Now that it's been like 24 hours,
Mhm.
I'm gonna try to be realistic about this.
Yeah.
Matt House probably not getting fired, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it, last year our defense is the reason we ultimately it's the defense was the reason why we won the West last year. It won you games
That's
at
fair.
a certain point last year. So his entire tenure at LSU hasn't been terrible. This season has been horrendous. But I feel like Matt House is the type of DC to where he's like running a scheme a little too complicated. Then you know what I'm saying? Like
We've seen that happen before.
it's probably like NFL level, you know what I'm saying? And I think when you look at Brian Kelly's tendency not to play some young guys like Whit Weeks, like Womack, and play some of the veterans over them, it leads me to think that he's doing it because of how complex the scheme is, and he trusts them to understand the complexity of the scheme more than some of the younger guys. So I feel like because of that, Brian Kelly is going to be like, with more time in the system will work. You know what I'm saying? Right now, we just don't have enough guys who can learn and know the system and the complexity of the system. So I feel like BK gonna give House another year. Me personally, I would like a new DC. But I don't think that's gonna happen.
I agree wholeheartedly. And with what you just said, makes a lot of sense. Think about it. Last year was a veteran-led team. Although the veterans came from various teams, it was a veteran-led team
On all fronts.
On all fronts. So you were able to, if even with complexities, they had seen so much, you can install stuff and they can understand and knew and it could work. Hell, just on the guys at LSU that the veterans that were from LSU had seen, this was their third new DC, so they had seen so many different schemes that they were able to adapt. So completely agree there. I personally think that I don't know if this is right for Matt House. I think he is. I'm not saying I think he's a good DC. But we've seen this at Kentucky. Kentucky, he had a decent defense and he had one really good defense, but then everything else was kind of average.
But he also had a top 5 pick on that defense too.
That defense was veteran led too.
Yeah.
So, and I do want to say I saw somebody post about it. And they said that if you look at our three losses are to teams that are all three are ranked in the top 10. Two are pretty much right now looking like they're going to be in the college football playoff or could possibly be in the college football playoff. So, and if one of those two wasn't in, the other one would be in. So it's kind of, it's kind of hard to look at this and say, he's just needs to go. Now, there are definitely glaring holes. Huh?
It's the rest of that tweet that gets you.
Yeah.
It's the third down percentages against
Oh,
those
yeah,
teams.
that's terrible.
You know what I mean? Because
last night, 11 of 14. 11 of 14.
78%. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And so my thing is, because this is what people going to say, and they right. They're going to say, if LSU wants to be where LSU needs to be, you got to beat those teams. The 3 teams that you lost to, they top 10 team, cool. You got to beat top 10 teams to be national champions. Like the 2019 year, we talk about how tough of a schedule that was and how many top 10 teams they beat. That's the type of team you're trying to be. You can't say, oh, well, we beat everybody but these teams. But hey, they really good teams. That's why we didn't beat them. No, you're supposed to beat them teams, not give up 78% on third down to those teams.
Yeah. To be fair, and this could be hyperbole. You can call me crazy. I think this offense was probably better than 2019 as far as we were on pace to be better.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been.
Could have
Like,
been. This
it's
defense
just as explosive. Like your defense is wasting all-time great offense. Whether it's better than 2019 or just right there below it, either way it go, it's historically.
I know somebody gonna tune. I know people probably heard that and be like, "What?"
But
just look at the numbers.
It's historically great either way it goes. Whether you want to say it's better or not, either way. But you're ruining it with a terrible defense, man. And like I said, I personally would like to see another defensive coordinator here. Personally, I'd want to see one here who isn't as complex of a scheme, because when players think, they don't play as good.
Yeah.
When you make them think, you taking away some of their aggressiveness. You know what I'm saying? So just let them play, man. That's the most important thing on defense, man. Let them just go react.
Yeah. Next up, man. This game was closer than probably expected. Texas A&M took on number 10 Ole Miss. Ole Miss got the win 38-35 on a missed last-second field goal.
Yeah, man. But it looked like Max Johnson might be out for a little while. Like, he got banged up a little yesterday. So every time I think A&M dead, bro, they seem to just have a good game. The game they like season so far. It's like going into Bama, I didn't think they stood a chance. You know what I mean? Then they go play Bama tough. Didn't think they stood a chance against Ole Miss, and they come out and play them tough. So I mean, you can't never really write them off, but their season has probably been a disaster. Well, ain't no probably. It has been a disaster, but at the same time, they're capable of knocking off anybody on any given week because they got that much talent.
All right. Let me ask you a question. Name this coach.
Kevin Sumlin.
Beat Bama once. Close games. The rest of the games were close against Bama. The only thing I'll say this: Kevin Sumlin and Jimbo people are going to be doing that comparison for a long time. Especially when you look at how much money they gave Jimbo to turn around this program. The only thing that Jimbo did that Kevin Sumlin didn't
was beat LSU. Oh, I was about to say get a number one recruiting class.
No, beat LSU. I would say this: if Sumlin got a number one recruiting class, I guarantee he would have did a lot better than Jimbo's done with them. They'll be more developed.
That's fair.
But the only thing that Jimbo has done that Kevin Sumlin didn't was beat LSU.
That's fair.
That's it. They are literally Texas A&M. I used to joke and say they were like the Dallas Cowboys, because they would be real good until November came. But they're not even good in September at this point. And and what you just say, they had what, number one class?
Yeah.
Number 15 class? Come on. You have the means to get, and at this day and age, you have the means to get any player in the country that you want, and they're not doing nothing with it.
Yeah, that's true. I just don't see them letting them go yet.
No, they're not. But I just wanted to be known that, hey, I recognize that Kevin Sumlin and Jimbo are eerily similar in records.
Same part. The Spider-Man meme.
Nah, this one of them Spider-Man's got a Gucci coat. You know what I'm saying, red bottoms and all that, and the other one just standing there in his, you know what I'm saying, original costume.
Yeah.
Hell, even Kevin Sumlin's Texas accent was better than Jimbo's. But anyway, next up, man, you got this one. We can fly through this one. Tennessee, he dropped it. Number 17, Tennessee welcoming UConn and beat them 59-3. Nothing to say there.
Nope.
Nothing to see. Do not look at them paying attention to the man behind the curtain. Next up, man, Arkansas took on Florida in the swamp. And Pittman said,
my parlay.
I'm still alive. I'm still alive. Pittman, he went down there and got the 39-36 overtime win. I would not trust Florida, dude.
I mean, all they had to do was make the field goal at the end of regulation, and I win my parlay.
I understand. Florida gonna Florida.
But you know what though? Like when I was making my parlay, it was a beautiful parlay too. It would have hit if it wasn't for Florida. But when I'm making it, you know what I'm saying? I'm over here, I'm looking at it, and I'm like, all right, Jacksonville State, South Carolina. I know we'll talk about that one. I'm like, all right, cool.
That's next.
I'm like, all right, cool. That's stealing money. I'm like, y'all giving Rutgers 19.5 points. Okay, I'll take that one. I barely, but I got that one. And I'm like, Florida -3. That's too low. What? Like, I gotta take that.
Yeah, it's too low.
As soon as I took that, I was like, what does Vegas know that I don't know about Arkansas? And they must have known that Arkansas was coming out playing for that for Sam Pittman's job, because them boys came out and
my bad. I'm looking at this game, and Cincinnati just scored 20-7. I just didn't even hit this extra point. So
yeah, man,
if McPherson misses this extra point, I might go to Fort Payne and just slap everybody there. I'll take that drive tonight. But anyway, listen, I don't trust Florida. And it was also announced the LSU Florida game is going to be at 6:30 this coming Saturday. So, all right, we good. McPherson is safe. Him and his whole family. All right. So, I'm just joking. I'm joking. People gonna know. people. I know how Twitter is. Elon, I'm just playing. But next up, man. Jacksonville State, not to be confused with Jackson State, not even to be confused with Jacksonville, Florida, but Jacksonville State out of Alabama, of all places, took on
Gamecocks.
Yeah, Jacksonville State Gamecocks took on South Carolina Gamecocks. Cockfight.
I was just about to say cockfight of sorts.
Yeah, South Carolina got the win 38-28, and it was not easy. That game,
it was 28-28.
Yeah. Rich Rod got them boys playing.
Yeah, shout out to Coach Willie Green, my guy.
Yeah, so yeah, they reached out to Jay Sean. My neighbor is an alum, and he came talk to me. I was like, hey, if he wants to go there, let me know. I can work some things out. So I got you. Yes, sir. I appreciate it. But no.
But yeah, I took them in the points, and I was looking good until Florida.
What was the spread on that one?
15.5, my boy.
Oh yeah, you hit that. Oh, you had South Carolina in the points.
No, I had.
Yeah, Jacksonville. Okay, yeah, you good then.
I was good until Florida missed the field goal in regulation.
Oh, they was a part of the parlay.
Mm-hmm.
So sorry to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
So sorry to hear that. Auburn took on Vanderbilt, and Auburn is now on a 2-game SEC win streak. Shout out to Hugh Freeze. You know,
So I put a tweet out today. Somebody, our guy Harold, had made a tweet asking who the next LSU defensive coordinator was going to be.
mm-hmm.
And I guess you still call it quote tweeting or whatever. I quote X'd him or whatever and said a picture of Vanderbilt's head coach.
Oh, Clark Lee, yeah.
Because I feel like if Clark Lee gets fired and Matt House does move on to another location, because I don't feel like Matt House will get fired. I think it'll be a Polian situation.
Oh, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Where he leaves for another position. But anyway, whenever Matt House does leave for another position, I feel like Clark Lee is the type of guy Brian Kelly is going to go after.
He was his DC before.
Correct.
Right?
Correct. And I looked it up today. Notre Dame was top 15 in the country every year under Clark Lee as the DC. They gave up less than 20 points all 3 years he was there as the DC. But I mean, just familiarity with him, SEC experience. Now, you know what I'm saying? So I just feel like that would be the type of guy he would go after if he's looking for a DC. And I have no sources on this. I'm just throwing out my opinion. I feel like that's the type of person he would go after.
Yeah.
Former head coach fits, you know what I'm saying, fits kind of what he wants on his staff. So,
yeah.
You know.
Last on the SEC slate, you got Kentucky versus Mississippi State. Kentucky got the win 24-3. It is, I'll say this, it is a sad day when you see a Mississippi State team that was built by, Leach, Mike Leach, the Pirate, RIP.
I mean, you can go back to Mullen too, though.
Yeah. Mullen, hell, even Moorhead, that only scores 3 points.
Yeah, that's true. Moorhead might have, though.
He might have what?
He might have only scored 3 points, though. They weren't that good under Moorhead.
He would have scored at least 6.
That's fair. That's fair. But yeah,
and then it's nothing against Coach Arnett. Nothing against him. Great guy. But
do they keep him? Like, I'm not wishing that, but like, it's getting to the point where you might be worse than Vanderbilt.
Is Mississippi State a baseball school now?
I mean, they've been that. I'm just saying, like,
that's true.
Like,
they invest more in they. I'm starting to see they invest more in their.
At what point? Like, when is he not safe anymore? Are we already at that point? And if we're not at that point, at what point?
One more year.
But bro, like, they not even looking like they improving.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yikes.
I know it's a tough situation, but one more year, you might. Might not can afford one more year.
All right, man. Let's move on to some more games outside the SEC footprint. And this is the first one on here. We didn't even talk about this Thursday, but I had to throw it on here. No 15 Notre Dame went down to Clemson.
Little old Clemson.
And caught them hands. Clemson got the win 31-23. Shout out to Tyler from Spartanburg. He's ignited Dabo to be a better coach, and Dabo said he got 2 degrees and he gonna use both of them to beat Notre Dame. So, was this? Let me ask you a question. Was this like a evangelist battle? Was this like was this like the Pope versus Joel Osteen?
Man, it was I don't know what it was, bro. But it was an embarrassing loss for Marcus Freeman is what it was.
Seems like he's good for getting one at least a year.
Yeah, I mean, biggest win for Clemson by far this year.
Mm-hmm.
Probably saved their season in a sense.
Better chance to get bowl eligible.
Yeah, I mean, you only need one now.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think I kind of saw this coming. That's why I ain't bet on this game. I just felt like Clemson was going. I don't know. It was just too much.
I'm
It
be
was
honest
too
with
much
you.
made about it done for me to feel like they was going to like lose this game. I just felt like they had this in them.
You should have called me because I don't mind. Number 23, Kansas State took on number 7, Texas. Texas got the win 33-30 in overtime.
I didn't have no faith in. I almost took them in the points, but I had no faith.
I trust nobody in the Big 12. Nobody at all. At all. Believed in Houston for a game. I mean, not Houston, West Virginia for a game. They let me down in Houston. Started believing in Houston, and they let me down against something. I forgot who they played the next following week. I was like, man, it's just terrible. Speaking of not believing anybody, number 9, Oklahoma.
Oh, I want some money off this.
Took on number 22, Oklahoma State.
I took Oklahoma State plus 5.5.
Oh, that was perfect. Oklahoma State got the win outright, 27-24. Universe has a weird way of doing things. It was funny, like all these quarterbacks that people kept saying, because we kept banging the LSU fans were banging the table saying, hey, Jaden is good. Give Jaden, saying he needs, saying Heisman recognition. Even now, the stuff, they got. I've seen ESPN put out these. Which one do you think wins the Heisman? And they had JJ McCarthy,
Marvin Harris.
Now they got Marvin Harrison on it. They took off Dylan Gabriel and put Marvin Harrison on there. Now looking at it, not Marvin Harrison, Dylan Gabriel back-to-back losses and didn't look good in either.
Nope. But a name that might start picking up some Heisman contention is Ollie Gordon, running back for Oklahoma State. Didn't play much the first 3 games of the season.
Yeah.
And I think he had 19 carries total the first 3 games of the season.
Wow.
After they lost to South Alabama, since that loss to South Alabama, he's leading the country in rushing. For the season, he's leading the country in rushing, but he didn't start getting a whole bunch of carries and stuff until after the loss to South Alabama. So I mean, he put them on his back. He put them on his back yesterday again, and that kid's a monster, bro. But yeah, I just had a feeling, with this being the last Bedlam, and I mean, Oklahoma State still has a chance, and right now it's them in Texas.
Their only loss is to South Alabama, isn't it?
No, they got one more loss. They lost in conference. They got one conference loss.
Okay.
But them in Texas are the only ones with one conference loss.
Okay. All right. Moving on to the Pac.
Maybe Kansas only got one too.
Moving on to the Pack It Up conference. Number 5 Washington took on number 20 USC. Washington got the win 52-42. With that being said, Alex Grinch was let go today by USC. I think that is I think he's 4 seasons too long.
He had dirt on somebody.
Bro, he should have been let go at
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. He shouldn't. Anybody who's in the process of buying a new home or looking for a new home, sometimes you leave that couch and you buy a new one. You get you a new one, or you leave that refrigerator. I don't know what it was. This has had some kind of sentimental value because Lincoln Riley decided to take his with him.
Yeah. I mean, after you give up 7 touchdowns to Joe Burrow, you would think that,
Not just that. Not just that, bro. I don't even know how to describe it, man. Oklahoma found ways to just give up points, period.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Another team, a team that's getting hot at the right time.
Arizona.
Arizona got the win over number 19 UCLA.
Blew my parlay.
27-10.
They blew my other parlay, man. I had the over in this one, bro. Over 45, man.
That's on UCLA. That's UCLA fault.
Yeah, I know.
That's UCLA. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah. Now this is one of my favorites. This last game, I didn't see it coming, but now it just adds a little bit extra for the end of the year. Army beat number 25 Air Force. Where my girl at? Danny?
Oh, yeah.
Danny, you talking about we ain't getting no respect to Air Force. I told you I don't respect them. They don't do no damn work. Sit in the chair all day. Do you know? I'm gonna tell you something. Do you know that when I was deployed, I was the back end of the Iraq war in Iraq. They had a point where they were doing a drawdown, so they were kind of closing down different parts of different bases and stuff. So we had to move over to the Air Force side. Do you know the Air Force people got paid more because the Army people moved into their living areas, and it was called substandard living because they had to share space with Army? You sadiddy mother. Listen, first of all,
sounds like you so
trash. Then you used to be like, oh, can we ride on y'all Black Hawks?
Sound like you hate no, bro.
I am. Big time. Suckers. That's why you lost by 20.
Still ranked, though.
They still lost, too.
You don't care about them being ranked.
I don't care. Guess what? The Commander Cup ain't going to Colorado.
So what happens if it's a 3-way tie?
It stays with whoever won it last, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So, but I ain't worried about that. Army finna get that dub this year. Navy won last year, if I'm not mistaken, in the upset. Army finna get that dub this year. We got a little extra motivation too. Yes, sir.
It don't matter. You LM beat Army, so I ain't true.
I don't care. Army can lose every game. I wouldn't care. But guess what? They're gonna win that one.
You're an Army fan. It's cool.
I am an Army fan. I'm telling you, I used to not care. I care now. It's on and popping.
You carry you alone, whoop that ass, and we win.
I didn't get in. I did.
No, you can't. You can't.
That's like I felt Alabama got payback for him. We fight for our country. All right, man. Any other notable games?
No, not really. I mean, unless you want to talk about.
Now
No,
the other the team I said was that I felt was the best group of 5 team.
they almost lost yesterday.
They Tulane barely escaped with a 13-10 win. So that was close. Michigan State with the big win over Nebraska. And Indiana beat Wisconsin.
I saw that one being close, but not upset.
Yeah. Speaking of Army and Air Force, the under hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Won me some money too.
Yeah, the under hit. So it's funny because I keep saying it. If it's the Service Academy's playing, bet the under.
It was close to not hitting for a second.
Yeah.
It was 23-3. Yeah, and Air Force had the ball driving, and they threw an interception. If they would have scored on that drive, it wouldn't hit. I was sweating it out because it was in my parlay.
I know you were good. I know you was cussing me.
Oh boy, I had Oklahoma State plus 5.5.
Mm-hmm.
I had Liberty minus 14 versus Louisiana Tech. I had James Madison minus 6. And then I had
and they be rolling. James Madison won 42-14.
Bro, if James Madison minus anything is basically a guaranteed hit these days, bro. Yeah. But the other one was the under. And so the other 3 had hit, and I'm watching them like, man, I swear if this don't hit, I'm finna be pissed.
Yeah.
Because Florida had already screwed me that morning. You know what I mean?
Yeah. North Carolina State beat Miami. And they had a space today.
I saw a Miami fan say that they're gonna beat Florida State.
Listen, they had a space today. You know what the title of space? You know what Miami spaces usually were, right? 12-0. No, it used to be like 12-0 and all this kind of stuff. And more says 6-6. Can we survive? I'm not trying to laugh at them, but it's funny. So hilarious. Yeah. Chuck is right. It said James Madison used to be a powerhouse FCS institution.
Now they're
gonna be a powerhouse Sunbelt institution.
Right. They rolling. Them versus Jacksonville State for the next few years is gonna be fun to watch.
Oh, it's gonna be. Well, no, Jacksonville State not in the Sunbelt. So.
Oh, that's right.
They took UAB spot in Conference USA, and then
right. That's who I'm thinking about in the Sunbelt. Hold on, let me think.
You got South, you got Troy, you got Old Dominion, Marshall, Appalachian State.
I guess I was thinking. I just got that mixed
got
up.
the wrong which go.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to some.
I'm thinking about Kennesaw.
Okay.
Moving up to Conference USA. That's what I was thinking.
All right. Let's talk about oh man, that's dope. Cincinnati Bengals. They've got the Ken Riley bust. They're recognizing him tonight. So for those of you who don't know, Ken Riley was a former quarterback actually at Florida A&M. He's ended up going to the NFL, I think, as a safety or wide receiver. I can't remember which one. But no, he was inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. Unfortunately, he passed away. I think it was 2 years ago. So, and a lot of people, his family was kind of bittersweet about it because it was like they felt like they wished it had happened while he was still alive, but he is now enshrined in the Hall of Fame, and they cornerback. Thank you, Chuck. And so he's played for the Bengals. But here we go, man. Back to what I was saying. NFL. The Bears and Saints today, man. Saints got the win 24-17. I am.
Trash.
You want to hear something? Hear something about, you know how I be feeling about kickers and stuff. They always get me. Dennis Allen, I hope you catch a cramp in your foot tonight. I had Saints over 26 points. And on 4th and 1, all I got to do is kick a field goal and make it a 2-score game. They didn't kick it.
They sneak it with Taysom Hill. I mean, with Derek Carr.
They didn't get it and end up giving the ball back to Chicago. Chicago throws a pick. They go down, and I'm like, okay, here it is. They're going to kick a field goal now.
Missed it.
Missed the field goal. Then, you want to hear this? We somehow end up having to punt and then we get the ball back. I had walked out of the room after he missed the field goal. I was pissed. We get the ball back on the fumble. And I walk in and see us getting close. And I'm hoping, man, don't get the first down and make them, end up kicking the field goal. They get the first down, 1st and goal, and we just kneel the rest of the clock.
Man, I know the Saints won, but this game was trash.
It was terrible. Your defense, I'm very impressed. The defense looked like but you played the Bears.
I ain't even gonna say your defense played good. Your defense played terrible to me. They just got turnovers. They gave 368 yards.
Yeah.
The first half, you couldn't get a stop if it wasn't for a turnover. Now, in the second half, you made some adjustments, but I mean, you ain't the Baggett kid, whatever his name is, the little D2 quarterback, was carving you up in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
It took a Debo having a game in his life with 2 interceptions and a forced fumble for you to, and I think you had 5 turnovers in all, but that's the reason why you won this game, was because you got turnovers. And the defense did that, but as a whole, they didn't play well. They just got turnovers, and they lead the league in interceptions, which has been a while since you could say that about a Saints defense. But
yeah,
I mean, the Bears moved the ball. The Bears' problem was they just turned the ball over too much. But I mean, you got a rookie D2 quarterback. That's what's gonna come with the territory.
Yeah.
But only 10 points off of them 5. My fault. But
no, you good. Go ahead.
10 points off of them 5 turnovers, though.
Bro, if you start 4 of your last 5 drives in Bears territory and get 0 points, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe 7, something like that. Come on, man. Come on. Man, let's talk about the rest of the NFL. I want to start here. Not even on. I'm gonna get to Houston. I want to start with Minnesota against the Falcons.
Yeah.
Shout out to Josh Dobbs, who has been classified as a subpar quarterback for a very long time, but has always found a way to win. Maybe not every game, but he's found a way to win, and he led this team on the touchdown drive to win it tonight against the Falcons, which makes it even better.
Yeah, but it wasn't even supposed to play. Hadn't practiced all week. Whenever the starting quarterback got hurt, and you can see the video of this on Twitter. But he went and took snaps from the starting center, and actually all the offensive linemen were huddled up around them so he could go over the cadence, so they could hear him actually say it, because they had never heard him say it before, because he hadn't practiced with them. Like from having to actually say the cadence for the first time for your offensive lineman to winning the game. That's like Disney stuff, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he don't know. He didn't even know the guys' names who he was throwing the ball to. Because they had some injuries. They had a guy get carted off the field with a concussion. Like it was a rough game. Starting quarterback went out with a concussion, and Josh Dobbs just put him on his back. He started off rough, had a couple turnovers, but the dude a gamer, man, and he just found a way to win.
Yeah. Man, I'd love to see him get a real chance somewhere. It might be.
Yeah, it might be in Minnesota.
Might be in Minnesota. That's funny.
Brambo in a minute.
Yeah. That's funny. What's good, Brambo? But yeah, big kudos to him. Then next up, man. We've been talking about it. Go ahead. I need, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead. Y'all need to go ahead and start making the little plaque. Rookie of the year, CJ Stroud. Go ahead and get it started printed up. That dude there set the rookie NFL record for passing yards today. If I'm not mistaken, that was Cam Newton's record, wasn't it? If I'm not mistaken.
I think so, but
I think so because I think he said it in 2012 or 2011, whatever, something like that. But yeah, man, he was on a mission today.
If we're gonna give him credit, we gotta. If we're gonna give him credit,
I'm finna give it to him.
Okay,
I'm finna give it to him. They were down. Well, we saw, who they playing? Buccaneers.
Yep.
Tampa Bay scored with like 30-some seconds left, and Tank Dell. CJ Stroud found Tank Dell a couple times to make some. Tank Dell made some huge catches.
Man, that dude went off today.
Yeah, huge catches, including the touchdown winning catch. So, man, major shout out to Houston, to Tank Dell, to CJ Stroud, man, to D'Amico Ryans. So big kudos.
Man, I had Tank Dell on my bench, bro.
I know you sick.
Oh, I'm hurt, dog. He had 6 catches for 114 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Man. Trying to think, it was some other games. The game before this one, Eagles versus Cowboys came down to a last second. It was a really good game. Dak hit. Shout out to what's the kid? Jalen Tolbert, you know what I'm saying, former South Alabama Jag, Mobile native, caught his first touchdown today. And then
Devontae Turpin, Monroe, Louisiana native.
Yeah.
TCU grad.
Yeah, they showed out, man. Then Dak stepped out of bounds on the 2-point conversion. That was huge.
Now, well, the other one was huge too. The touchdown was.
He was laying outside.
If the other knee goes down, it's a touchdown. Like his left knee went down first, right before the ball crossed the goal line. If his right knee goes down, it's a touchdown. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah. I'm trying to think any more other games. Oh.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Why would they do it on the East if you're not from? Now, we'll talk about that, Dwight.
Yeah. Trying to think any more NFL games in mind. I'm finna tell you. The one in Germany.
Oh, Chiefs.
I had to argue with your buddy this morning. Chiefs versus Dolphins. I had to argue with your buddy this morning. He said, "Why are they playing this game so early?" I said, "Because it's in Germany." He said, "No, it's not. It clearly says Chiefs in the end zone." Said, dude, if you look on the sidelines, it says Frankfurt, Germany. He's like, oh. But why they playing it so early? Like, man, get out of my room. It's too early.
I ain't even watched this game.
It was Chiefs jumped out early and almost blew it. That's literally the gist of it.
Yeah.
Shout out to Antonio Pierce.
I seen Tua blow it too.
Yeah.
That dude wide open in the end zone threw that mother about 10 yards short.
By the way, Tua still hasn't, as a Dolphins quarterback, hadn't beaten a team that's over 500 in almost a year and a half. Think about that.
That's wild.
Think about it. But where was I? Oh, shout out to Antonio Pierce, getting his first win as a head coach, even as with the interim tag, 30-6 win over the Giants. If you're the Giants, you need to be having serious thoughts about your future with your coaching staff. This Raiders team literally just fired just about everybody in the organization, and they still beat you by 24.
And you lost your quarterback.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Well, ACL, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell you somebody else who's dad. If you're listening, I'm sorry. I'm gonna tell you somebody else who's ass. Carolina Panthers.
Hey, did you know they had a dude with 2 pick sixes today for the Colts? Only reason I know is because I started the Colts defense on my fantasy team.
Rack
and
them
then
up.
the same dude had 2 pick sixes. I thought for a second that they just sent the same notification twice.
No.
You know what I mean? But nah, he had 2. One was like 55 and one was like 66, something like that. But yeah, it's
Cleveland beat the Browns 27-0. I'm sorry, I said Cleveland beat the Browns. Cleveland beat the Cardinals. The Browns beat the Cardinals 27-0. Which makes me think.
Oh, my bad.
No, but you're right. Which makes me think the Cardinals probably should have kept Dobbs. No, you don't think so?
They're doing what they want to do.
No. Oh, Tank.
They ain't even have 100 yards of offense today, dog.
Yeah.
That's crazy, bro.
The Ravens, as you was just saying, the Ravens beat the brakes off with the Seahawks 37-3. I think that's it for the NFL.
All right, so the Arizona Cardinals averaged 1.2 yards per
Get
play.
it, Burrow. Let's go.
1.2 yards per play. They ran 48 plays for 58 yards.
Joe Shiesty. Got something else for you. I'm trying to see. Give me a second. Let me I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. I take that back. That is it. This score here currently is ankles. This score here is 21-10, third quarter. Bengals on top. This is, of course, it's the first game since I ain't gonna say the first game. This game last year was the game in which DeMar Hamlin got injured. He is at the game. He is not playing, but it's the same game pretty much. Around the same. Well, no, it's not. It's a little bit early in the season. Yeah. Bengals have won 5 of the last 7 in this matchup between these two, and they're about to win. God dang. He dropped it though. Get up, Chase. Knock the wind out of them. I'm trying to think what else. That's about it. Get ready to wrap it up.
That's all I got.
All right. I got some. Basketball comes back tomorrow. Men and women. LSU. If I'm not mistaken, the women take on. Hold on.
Deion's daughter.
Yeah, and I think the men take on Mississippi Valley. Yep, women take on Colorado. And, Colorado at 6:30 on TNT.
Yeah, it's the first televised TNT women's college basketball game ever.
That's gonna be dope. And LSU takes on Mississippi Valley State at 7 on ESPN Plus and SEC Plus. Yeah, men are a 26.5 point favorite. I'm not touching it. I'm till I see what they look like. Brambo asked a question before we get up out of here. So y'all think JD going to play versus Florida? Regardless, LSU can't have a letdown. Florida will play their best. Concussion protocol. I don't think he plays. I don't think you need him.
I guess we'll finally get to see what everybody wanted to see.
Yep, see Nuss. So, yep, I think we'll see Nuss.
But yeah, I do agree with him. Florida will play their best.
Yeah, because this. I know they. Anyway, get ready to get up out of here. Hey. Yeah. You gotta give another salute too, because Dave said he missed it last week because your camera was because of the internet.
Just for you, Dave.
Yeah, but we'll be back on Wednesday. We'll see. Like that, we out.
This show was presented by betonline.ag. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe on Twitter at Golden Boot. On Instagram at Golden Boot. On YouTube at The Golden Boot Pod. On Facebook at The Golden Boot Pod.